Yes, welcome to Yardman Second Chance. This is part two of the interview with Paul. He's a very interesting person who voluntarily removed himself from Canada 31 years ago, and he's telling his story. So let's listen to Paul talking about what happened. Let's go, Paul.
Yeah. So like I was telling you,
Yeah.
I met a lot of people,
Yeah.
Canadians. I remember I had some friends from
Yeah.
right down on Atwater Street
Yeah.
in Montreal, and their family name was the Jacksons.
Yeah.
Yeah. This lady had like 3 daughters and a son,
Yeah.
and the cops had killed her son, so it left her had a bitter taste in their mouth,
Yes.
about dealing with cops.
Yeah.
And, I was walking one day, and I met one of their daughters,
Mm-hmm.
just being dread, and she having on a Bob Marley and a Rasta colors and thing,
Yeah.
and a jacket. So we started talking and all kind of things, and told me about her brother, and I made a spliff when we were smoking and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And she was saying, "Oh, this is good. I mean, where you get it?" And I said, "Well, I got a friend who I do this." So she says, "Well, if you can get, I have a lot of friends who need this kind of good weed, And
Yeah.
I just started just like that, and I would buy a quarter of a pound, and I would make back my money and have herb to smoke,
Yes.
and it was going pretty good. I mean, I was able to start paying my rent, so I buying half a pound instead of a quarter of a pound,
Yeah. The business
So
start to
things
grow.
from one level to the other, and I
Yeah.
moved from downtown,
Yes.
When I met that girl who had the kid,
Uh-huh.
when I met her, I was living downtown, but we moved,
Yes.
and yeah, we moved to, I think it's Goye.
Yeah. That's
They got it
uptown.
in Côte d'Ivoire.
Right, uptown, yes.
Yeah.
I think I'm
Right.
familiar with
And
that place.
I moved up there.
Yes.
And then it was like, it was in Little Jamaica,
Yeah.
Although it wasn't Jamaica alone, it's a lot of Trinidad and
Yeah.
Barbados and a lot of people. And she had been in Canada since she was 14.
Yes.
She did most of high school there, so a lot of these people she knew,
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I used to go downtown to the park to sell and thing, and
Yeah.
I start changing situation. I was in a park on Victoria
Uh-huh.
in the days, and then in the evenings I'd go up to this pool hall,
Yeah.
right on Côte d'Ivoire Street,
Yes.
about 2 blocks from where they had a black community center.
Right.
So and the hustling was really going pretty good, yeah.
Yes. So
Things
while
just developed,
while you were doing that, did you ever get
Yeah.
involved with the law?
Yeah, I got busted one day, like one evening. I remember
Yeah.
when we moved from there, we moved to the country,
Yes.
and then I remember one night some guys came and bought something,
Uh-huh.
and one of them had a gun,
Ah.
and when they were leaving and they went out on the road, for some reason the gun went off or something, but and then the people called the cops,
Ah.
And, yeah, they gave the cops a description, and they told the cops that they had came to my place.
Okay.
So they started banging down the place, and
Looking
they
for the
were looking
gun.
for these guys.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that these guys had robbed somewhere.
Ah. There were
Yeah,
some stick-up kids.
and shot somebody. Yeah, and shot somebody in the place and all kind of crap. So yeah, anyway,
Oh, they bring
they
the
took
heat
me
on
to
you,
jail,
man.
and and they check out everything.
Yeah.
They realized that I was doing something different, and
Yeah.
it wasn't me. So they were asking me about these dudes,
Yeah.
So I was telling them that I really didn't know their names or anything,
Right.
but I do remember the description of the coat,
Yeah.
that one
Yeah.
of the guys had on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the guy, but I really don't know his name.
Right.
But I told him I know he's somebody who lives in the area,
Yes.
because I only met these guys since I've been living around here.
Yeah.
But they had me there for like 3 days,
Yeah.
and then they gave me my own bail.
Right.
And this is when I didn't have any fucking papers,
Right.
But
So
for
you
some
you
reason,
wasn't on immigration hold
because
at that time.
no, they didn't bring the immigration there. The cops didn't bring the immigration there.
Ah, you
Because
was
when
lucky
they
then.
came, they saw me and the kid and the girl who I was married to at the time.
Yes.
And yeah, I told them that she's my wife and
Right.
leave her out of this whole thing because I just do a little hustle.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not working. And
Yes.
so they never looked into it as with the immigration.
Immigration.
So the
Okay.
immigration
Okay.
never
Yeah.
did
Because they
interview me.
thought everything was good.
And yeah,
Yes.
and I went to court.
Uh-huh.
I had a legal aid lawyer, and he was saying that it wasn't. He wasn't so confident.
Yeah.
So he sent me to a lawyer, a Mr. Silver,
Yes.
and this guy was great. He was really a big lawyer, but he visited Jamaica like on vacations every other year.
Yeah.
So he did us a favor,
Yes.
My wife went to him when I was in the jail,
Yeah.
So he actually came and he got bail for me right away.
Right.
And when we did go to court, the judge gave me 30 days.
Yeah.
He gave me 30 days.
Uh-huh.
And I got a job
Yeah.
just for that reason,
Yeah. So you did how many time out of the 30 days?
Yeah, at a factory.
No, how long did you
So
do
this
out
judge
of the
gave
30
me-
days?
Well, I didn't actually go into the prison,
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah.
because they sent me to a place that they said I was working and they didn't want me to stop working.
Okay, you show them a
So,
job letter, yeah.
But they didn't want me to stop working because if I stop working, I might start to sell the pot again. So
Yeah,
I just
yes.
said, okay, sir, thank you.
Yeah,
What should I be doing? And they gave me some community things to do.
yes,
And I did their weekend community work,
yes,
Yeah. For like 3 months.
yeah.
And 2 days a week.
Okay,
And
okay.
I remember it was supposed to be for 3 months, and I did it for like about 6 weeks.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, and the guy says to me, I have too many of you people here.
Yeah.
It was a halfway house
Okay.
that you went to.
Yeah.
And most of the guys there are getting out on parole from prison.
Yeah, yeah.
And he told me they were his priority.
Right.
So I just go in for the rest of the time. I'll just go there and sign my name,
Yeah.
and I go back home.
Yeah.
And he would say, remember to be in by 6 in the evening,
Yes.
and don't come out until 6 in the morning.
Yes.
So that was what I had to do for the time, and then I was given a paper that I'd served my sentence and I was free to go, you know.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So after that, what leads up to the self removal, the voluntary removal?
Well, you see, like I had 2 more kids with another lady, and yeah, like, you know, it was kind of being a problem, so I took them to Alberta. So some of the time I was in Montreal, and some of the time I was in Alberta.
Yeah.
And I was there in Alberta, kind of doing my little thing.
Yes.
And I remember I met some dudes in Montreal.
Yes.
They were bikers,
Yes.
but I met them downtown, you know, and they used to buy stuff all the while.
Yes.
When I went to Alberta, it's like they were chilling, you know, and I can't remember what kind of event they had, but I went to this event and I met up. I think it was the Olympics, the ski Olympics, you know,
Ah.
Winter Olympics they
Yes.
had in Calgary.
All right, Paul.
Yeah.
Hold on, Paul. Let's break for a minute, because this seems really interesting. Hold on, Paul. Let's break for a
Yeah.
minute. Well, this show is brought to you by Dids Fashion out of New York. Dids Fashion and 762 Burke Avenue is the sponsor of this program here. And you're watching Yardman Second Chance. We're here with Paul talking about his experience in Canada, and he removed himself back to his country. So we're going to continue with Paul on another chapter of what he's telling us.